She still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Wei Lee is furious.
She's upset. But 100%. 100%.
Oh, happy Friday, everyone, and welcome into a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 141. Today is Friday, September the 27th, 2024. Kids, start of the weekend. UFC is back. We got some boxing. How the hell we doing, kid?
But we're dealing with the hurricane at the moment. Just everything's destroyed by my neck of the woods, and I was just out there trying to fix it up the best I can. But, I had to hop on with you to get the show started. And enough about the stuff I'm going through. Let me just mention the events that, we won't have picks for, but, I always love doing. Friday Fights 81 took place this morning. We had a fantastic main event between Joe Nadawat and Superbond. It was highly entertaining. Later tonight, two of the best women boxers on the planet, Mikaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner, compete in their respective main events. And last but not least, both Brave CF 88 and PFL Europe 3, Glasgow, will be featured live on DAZN tomorrow at noon.
Absolutely. We got a lot going on for you, not just today, this whole week. And like I said, UFC is back in Paris, France. Looks like everyone kind of made weight besides one, Aline Perez, half a pound, but
she's rough, man.
Yeah, rough. It looked bad, honestly, like getting on the scale. But we'll talk about that. We got a lot of news we'll talk about in the UFC as well. And then 10 seconds left will end in Rizin. But Joe, all 5 fighters in Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday all got contracts. You ended 1-9 on the fight on the night. 2 of them didn't really have odds when we were recording, but tell the people how you did.
Yeah, it was one of my down weeks. I've been pretty positive for every week. Week 6, now we're in week 7. Going into week 8, I'm hoping to get it back. But, I hit with El Chino, Kevin Valles. He has only 1 loss in his career. Going all the way back to the amateur ranks, even it was against, like I said, Lord John Silva. So this guy proved to himself with the finish against Cam Teague that he is legit. Kevin Christian, I doubted him. He got the win. Didn't touch the women's fight. Didn't touch the co-main event. That was a big upset in my eyes because I don't think anyone expected Daniel Frunze to upset Vadim Kutsi like he did. And then in the main event, what a massive underdog upset because, everyone and their grandmother, and I included, had Bailey Schoenfelder, and he was an absolute bust. So
by the Ukrainian.
Shout out Ukraine, Slava Ukraine.
I was going to say the triangle armbar by Kevin Christian. I thought that was fantastic. I only caught a few of the fights, but yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty entertaining. But it's all right. 1 down week. What is the record now through 7 weeks?
So, what did you have last time?
16-12, right?
Yeah. So, add 2 losses to that. Went to 14, 17, and 14.
Yep. All right. So not too bad. We're on to week 8.
3 fights above 500. Like I said, in a fight game that these guys are, sometimes coming out of the amateur ranks, sometimes not really recognized in their pro ranks, and still being 3 fights above. I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna try to do better next time out. But if we can stay afloat by the end of week 10, I'll be happy.
100%. By the way, wanted to touch on this real quick before we get into our picks. Did you happen to watch the documentary for Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do this weekend. But I've been hearing people raving about it in both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, just because, he came out before this whole thing started about a year ago. He came out and said, all the documentary that they're filming is all lies. In his voice, all lies. And he comes out and you got to watch. I don't really want to spoil it for everyone, but like the first episode, all these interviews were taped prior to everything coming out. So, and then the first scene, he goes, I don't really know what to say. He goes, I want everyone to know the real me, but not the real me. He goes, I can tell you off this. And it's kind of like, it kind of foreshadows into like everything that's going on today. But he built $1 billion business. Guy is a fighter.
That whole Shane exchange, though, I saw that. That was
and it brought back so many memories, like the Montreal scrum taking the title away from Brett. Oh my God. And then
you can't make up how like perfect or like it was meant to be, though. They screwed Brett. The spit, the loogie that Bret Hart spit, the
red eye right in his face.
Bro, you can't make that up, man. That's some talent right there.
Even Vince goes, he got me right in the eye. He respected it at the end of the day. And he goes, listen, I went in the back room And I said, hey, Brett, he goes, it's always business. He goes, and he came back and they got a punch off on him. He was like, I was pretty concussed. Brett cut me good. He's
No,
a
you gotta
legend.
tune into that, man.
Yeah.
That's something else.
But yeah, we got to tune into that. I just want to touch it on the top of the show. Just a little filler before we get into it. But yes, before we get into UFC Paris, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. No wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Beer Competition, with only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching UFC Paris, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. You know, Joe, surprisingly enough, I'm so happy with the early start time here. In Paris, across in Europe. Got an early start time. Prelims go off at noon here on the East Coast. Main cards kicks off with our boy Steamroll.
I'm gonna have like 40 screens up.
College football, UFC. What else? What else we got going on?
Some of the boxing things, the the Brave CF and PFL on. I mean,
not
UFC
enough
and college
screens.
Football might win out, but yes, not enough screens.
But yeah, like I said off the top, only one fighter missed weight. Everyone else is official. But the fight was still gonna go on. And she was forfeited 20% of her purse. But Joe, I'll let you lead it off, kid. What do you got here?
Yeah, man, we'll kick it off here for UFC Paris in the lightweight division. Balaji Oki coming from the Dana White Contended Series, man, massive hit for me last year. He is -180 as a favorite going in against Chris Duncan, Scotland's own. He's a dog, +175. You know, Chris Duncan, I think he has a lot of talent and he has a lot of heart, but the fall off definitely needs to be studied because, he was surging. He was looking to be a ranked opponent, looked to be a ranked fighter, but man, dropping a couple straight, getting knocked out, getting choked out, it's not looking good. And I do think Balaji Oki is a very explosive and dangerous fighter in there. So there's a dog there for Chris Duncan for a reason. I like Balaji Oki. I like the Zulu Warrior. I think the dude is awesome, and I think he can get Chris Duncan out of there. So, yeah, I'm going to lay the chalk, and I'm going to play Balaji Oki, the Zulu Warrior, at -180. So we'll go right into the bantamweight division next. It's the women's bantamweight division. Nora Cognoli is a +185 dog in the spot against Jacqueline Cavalcante at -190. And you could say, both coming off good wins and Jacqueline coming off a month hiatus as opposed to Nora Cognoli, which was probably fought, if not early this year, late last year. So, a little bit of a, sit and wait till she gets her number called, and it has. And I also see why she's a dog is because she lost to Jacqueline Cavalcante in the regional scenes back in the day. So will it repeat itself? It's hard to beat the same opponent twice. And with the women as closely contested as they are in her own backyard, I like the value we're getting here from Nora Cognoli. Give me Wonder Cognoli at +185. The dogs are barking early. I see a lot of value with her as closely as contested was in the regional scene. I think she's grown a lot as a fighter. She's become more dangerous. And like I said, Jacqueline Cavalcante, it's hard to beat the same opponent twice. Nora Cognoli may have figured it out with all the fights that she's been able to watch in the UFC for Cavalcante, and especially seeing her just last month. So give me the dog, +185. I love it. We go to the next fight here, and speed kills. We're in the flyweight division. Daniel Barres is +105, taking on Victor Altamirano at -125. I think this is one of the more tricky fights on the card here because Victor Altamirano, he finds a way to win in a lot of his fights. But Daniel Barres, man, I do like the Spaniard in this spot. I feel like he can, make some noise here. I haven't seen him in quite a while. Last time he fought a tough Rafael Filho, and we know him to be very dangerous. Split decision loss in Contender Series to Carlos Hernandez is not a bad loss at all. He's rattled off 4 straight. I'm going with Daniel Barres in this spot, man. I like him here. Yeah, he's a money line, I think, favorite. Yeah, it's not really a favorite, but he's not really a dog. I would say, do you see any update about the odds being closer to a pick'em? But at +105, I would take Barres, I think. But I'm feeling like some money is coming in on him. Do you see that?
Yeah, Baez plus 115. I see actually money coming in
Money
on
going
Victor.
out to Morano. So hey, I
Yeah.
guess he is now verified as a dog. So 2 dogs back to back. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, right.
And now we go to the fighter who missed weight in the women's bantamweight division. Aline Perez was minus 225, and she's taking on Daria Zelenikova plus 210. You know, Zelenikova, she's a good fighter, but I just think the level of competition she's fought isn't up to par with what Perez has. And, you know, actually missing weight gives you an advantage in terms of your percentage chance to win. And I do think that Aline Perez, even though she didn't look good on scale, will rehydrate and will come in with a weight advantage. And I think she'll take advantage of it. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Aline Perez. Give me Fiona here. I know it's minus 225. I'm willing to lay the chalk if you guys want to go ahead and incorporate her on a parlay. By all means, do so. But I'm going to be staying away from parlays this weekend, even though I am laying some chalk. So let's move along right into another bantamweight fight. Taylor Lapilus is minus 350 taking on Vince Morales at plus 300. Man, we haven't seen Vince Morales in such a long time. He was in the UFC, out of the UFC, and here he is back again, taking the trip all the way to France at a dog price at plus 300. Tyler Lapilus is very educated on the feet. I do feel like he'll be able to dictate the pace and keep the range in his favor. Double impact is my bet. I got to go with minus 350 on the money line with Taylor Lapilus. You know, if I'm laying this much chalk with these next couple of fighters, maybe these are the ones you want to incorporate on a parlay. But like I said, for now, I'm just laying the chalk and playing him straight up. So as we move along into the next fight, I see one of my favorite fighters on the roster here. It is in the lightweight division. It is Mr. Highlight, Ludovic Klein. We get to see him again.
I thought you were talking about Roosevelt Roberts.
No. Minus 800 favorite for a reason, because Roosevelt Roberts, man, very much a journeyman in and out of the UFC, coming off of a highlight reel knockout loss to Ignacio Bahamondes. I don't think I've seen him since then. Ludovic Klein is a ferocious striker, dangerous knockout capability. I don't think Roosevelt Roberts has any chance in here. There's a reason he's plus 725. Mr. Highlight, I'm all over you. I would say for these past 3 fights I've mentioned, maybe this is the parlay you'd want to get. But yeah, I'm taking Ludovic Klein. No ifs, ands, or buts here. And now, what would be the co-main event of the preliminary card? It is in the light heavyweight division, and we get to see Omar Sy again. He is minus 450 against Saseda Da Woon Jung at plus 455. And the dude is tough. South Koreans, Da Woon Jung, he's a very tough guy. You know, he does have finishing capability himself. He does seem to have a good gas tank. And that's tank to see tested. And so I do think that is to drag the fight out and probably win in the later rounds or the judges' scorecards. But I just think Umar Sy is super talented, and I think he will find a way to end it early. So give me the minus 450 favor here. Umar Sy in his own backyard. I think he has every advantage in the book here. And now we've made it to the featured prelim. And this is every time I see an Ion Cutelaba fight, man, it's like it just pops up out of nowhere. And I don't know how.
Real quick, it always seems like he's going down in the card too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was like a pay-per-view guy because he would get the knockouts. But that's the thing. He has, you know, lost a lot of fights, you know, a 17-10 record with a draw. I think that was against Ankalaev, a controversial one at that. It's like, it's really boom or bust with the guy, you know, high risk, high reward. And I see why they put him on the feature prelim, because it's very well that he's going to get a knockout or he will get knocked out. And he's not like a Johnny Walker case where he has a glass chin. He's just not technically proficient enough to be defensively sound and avoid bad decision-making. So he goes for the knockout and just leaves him open for getting knocked out as well. So got to take the Hulk, though. I said that. I think that boom could hit, and it's been working for me in fantasy. So I'm going to roll the dice and take the Hulk, Ion Cutelaba here. Who's Ivan Erslan? I don't know who this guy is. It's even money from what I've seen. I got to go with Cutelaba just based off knowledge, though he does make sometimes mistakes in there. I would like to see him find the chin and get a knockout. I think it would be scenes there in Paris. So
Cutelaba minus 118 right now.
So I got him at plus money. I love that. I love the plus money. So give me the Hulk, Ion Cutelaba. And did we see him dress up as green? Did he
probably did. I mean,
I missed it if anything. But
this guy Ivan, he doesn't even have a picture on the UFC website.
You find him on Surdog and Tapology. You'll find a picture of him there. The bald-headed guy. I think he's Croatian, and
he is.
He's got some finishes on the feet for sure. But it's just the level of competition that I'm not, recognizing, nor have I seen him, fighting in really recognizable promotions. So I gotta go with on precedent. So we're here for the main card of UFC Paris, man. It's going to be electric. I got to say that the Paris crowd is probably one of the top 5 crowds in the whole world when the UFC makes their way over there. So there's definitely be electric, and they get another fighter. Got a lot of French fighters on the card, but we get another one here to open up the main card. I think you and I may be torn in this one, so I wonder where you're going. It's in the lightweight division. Smile Killer Fares Ziam is taking on Steamroller Matt Frevola. And D-Rock, do you have a play on this?
I was just going to say you'd be surprised, but I don't have a play. I mean, I have plays in the last 4, but my thing is I really want to take Frevola in this spot. I think it's a nice bounce back spot here for him, but for us on the feet, he is a sniper. I do worry about that sometimes. And Frevola does leave his chin up a little bit. He does make some mistakes here and there, but I mean, can we go and fade Ray Longo here? I mean, I don't know if we can, but at plus 110 bias, I lean to the Strong Island kid.
I love it. That's why I figured, I felt that. I felt that, we love the Serra Longo camp, and Frevola has been a big proponent of that, helping all the guys. And, we got a lot of champions coming out of there. And I think he's going to want to follow in the footstep. But the issue is exactly what you said, how educated Fares Ziam is on the feet. Yeah, he's found his way to decision as of late, but he's finding himself on the right side of those decisions. He's winning these fights. And I think the way to beat Fares Ziam, it seems that you would have to find his back and choke him out. It seems the rear naked choke is his weak point. And I just don't see that from Matt Frevola. Though he does have that Serra Jiu-Jitsu, I think he does fall in like with his striking. If he can incorporate that wrestling, take him down, and then get to the back, I see a possible path to victory for Matt Frevola. But if it stays on the feet, I do think Fares Ziam is very smart and will stay away from Matt Frevola's power. So in that case, being at home, finding more ways to win, every round starts standing, I'm going to take Fares Ziam. As much as I'm paying to do so at minus 125, I think it's a fair price. So give me the Smile Killer. And now we move to the featherweight division, where Marvin Cherry is back at minus 600, and he's taking on Gabriel Miranda at plus 500. And as much as I just spoke about how Matt Frevola may find trouble to get to the back and find the submission, you may think, Marvin Cherry is going to be favored for a reason. He's got very good stand-up, and, he just knocks people out, and he does it up. That loss to Chep Mariscal, I just think was just bad. Even though we argue that he might have won that, I'm just seeing that there's a way that he can lose this fight. Gabriel Miranda, man, for some reason, I just can't fade him in the spot. And I might be foolish to take him here, but I got to take the massive dog at plus 500. I just see value with him. He's never lost via submission, but he has, I think, almost over 10 fights winning via the submission. He could find a submission here. As much as I don't see it in the opening fight, I see his specialty being the jiu-jitsu and him going all or nothing to get it. So it's worth the sprinkle on the dog in this spot. Though, we like Marvin Cherry. He is, a good striker. There's a chance that Gabriel Miranda could shock us all. And I don't think I'm fading any Brazilians, just as little foreshadowing for the card. So give me Gabriel Miranda at plus 500. And I like this next fight, man. And I think this is where you're going to get involved. So in the welterweight division, man, we used to have ex-heavyweight, mind you, ex-heavyweight Brian Pooh Bear Battle. And now welterweight, the Butcher, Brian Battle. And he's taking on Kevin Air-Jusey. Yeah, and Air-Jusey is a dog in this spot. Is surprising so at plus 145. Brian Battle, he's the favorite at minus 150. D-Rock, what do you have in this fight?
Yeah, I still think Battle could be a real dark horse in this welterweight division. Give me your boy, Brian Battle, on the money line, minus 160. I think he's extremely durable, and I think he has that kind of endless gas tank that we love in fighters. He could also finish Kevin anywhere, I think. I think on the feet, it's kind of a close one, but when it hits the ground, I do think Battle can take over this fight. He has the more UFC experience. He's fought the tougher competition. Now, Kevin Joshua, he is a tough out, but once this gets past round 1, I think Brian Battle will take over. Great cardio, endless pressure. It's going to be a tough battle for Kevin in this fight. So I'm going to take Brian Battle, your boy, minus 160.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I am going to take the Butcher, Brian Battle. I can't fade the man. He's been making me a lot of money. I just like everything about him, his personality, the way he goes out there and fight, losing all that weight too. I admire all the guys that have gone out there and, competed at heavier weights and then just continue to work to fight at lower weight classes. Like, that is super impressive. You're like basically learning on the job by doing that. So I just think that's a fantastic character trait that he has. And Kevin Joshua is really good. And so this fight is important for both of them. I think this is a great test. Though Joshua, as you said, is kind of, rookie, if you would, in the UFC. I think he is a very high level fighter.
Double champ.
Yeah. he can get past Brian Battle, I think, the sky's the limit, but the same could be said for Brian Battle. And I'm just a fan. So I'm fanboying out a little bit for him. We saw him in Charlotte get that amazing knockout. Fell up short a little bit in his last outing, but I'm sure he wants to get that back. And he seems highly motivated, looking like Brian DuBronx out there with the glasses and the gold trunks. You saw him. So I think he's ready for this fight. And I don't think the trip's going to affect him. I think he'll be ready for Air Jusei. So give me Brian Battle.
Let's go.
And the featured bout is next. It will take place in the featherweight division where William Gomez is plus 250 taking on Joe Anderson Brito at minus 275. And I could see why people would take the dog William Gomez in the spot. He's at home, but he didn't look good in his weigh-in last time out. He missed weight. He actually didn't miss weight. He had to pull out of the fight because he was 3 pounds under because he got sick because he basically almost killed himself. That's just the dangers of this weight cut. And we saw Aline Perez basically shaking off the stage just to weigh in and stuff. I mean, these athletes are putting themselves through hell just to, make a payday and then go out there and take a beating and give us a beating. So it's just, they deserve more. They really do. And as much as they do deserve more, William Gomez has got his hands full with Joe Anderson Brito. He's a minus 275 for a favorite. I got Tuber out here. I just think his finishing capability, like I said, I'm not fading the Brazilians in this spot. I think he's the favorite for a reason. I like Joe Anderson Brito here. I think he can get the job done.
Yeah, Joe, I thought this matchup was shocking when I saw it because, Brito, he just smashed Jack Shore in his last fight. In my opinion, I think Jack Shore is better than William Gomez. So, I get it. Gomez, he's on a 3-fight win streak, but I do think that ends tomorrow. Brito's last 5 wins have all been finished. I think this ends exactly the same way. I think he's going to put him out. So, going to get the number down. Give me Brito inside the distance at plus 115.
Wow, I love that play. So let's go ahead to the co-main event, and it is in the middleweight of division. Brendan Allen was coming out here saying, I'm not going to fight if it's not the main event. But here you are in the co-main event, and you're taking on a very tough Nasruddin Imavov at minus 200. So you're the dog in the spot. Are you going to put the money where your mouth is? D-Rock, what do you have in the co-main event?
Yeah, Imavov coming off, one of his biggest wins against Jared Allen, a win over, not Jared Allen, Jared Cannonier, excuse me. But now a win over Allen here, I feel like could give him a title shot. I think on the feet, Imavov is clearly the better striker. He throws a ton of volume. I do think if this floor hits the floor, though, it's a toss-up. Allen has amazing BJJ, but I do think Imavov is good enough to fight off any submissions that Allen might throw at him. I'm going to stay away from the side. I do lean Imavov for this side, but my official play is over 2.5 rounds. Both men have shown great durability. And with this being such an even fight, in my opinion, I think it could go bell to bell. So over 2.5 rounds at minus 135 is the play for me.
I like that play a lot. I think that's a very educated bet. D-Rock, you are a sharp. So everyone, I would try to trail that. And I got Imavov as well. All my homies hate Brendan Allen. Just the attitude. We try to like the guy so much, but, he just turns out to be unlikable. And, yeah, he'll kick my ass. So what? At the end of the day, I'm fading this man in this spot. Imavov, granted, it's going to be a clash of styles. He's going to have to deny the takedowns to Brendan Allen because Brendan Allen's going to want to go in there and choke him out. And he could absolutely, he's capable of doing it. He can do it. But Imavov has just shown, his takedown defense has gotten to a new level. I don't know if it's a camp over there in France where he's training or what, but I mean, he's always had good striking, aka why he's called the Russian sniper. But if his takedown defense is up to par and he can just sprawl and brawl and just beat up Brendan Allen on the feet, and we saw what happened in the late rounds against Chris Curtis. He was getting beat up there, Brendan Allen. So if that starts happening early, I don't think that he would have an answer for there. So I do see a late finish. That's why I like you taking the 2.5 and not it going to the judges. So I like your play, but I will be taking the favorite with Imavov at home. I got this guy rising in the middleweight division. Low key. He's not a dark horse because he's ranked, but nobody's talking about him. And like you said, after this fight, he very well could get a title shot.
Yeah,
so
I hope so.
We've made it to the main event of UFC Paris. And this will also take place in the lightweight division. A lot of lightweight fights, a lot of bantamweight fights. But I like this main event a lot, man. Benoit Saint-Denis is minus 270. Favorite at home, taking on Renato Money Moicano at plus 240. D-Rock, my man, I'll give you my play.
Yeah.
Benoit Saint-Denis coming off that knockout loss to Dustin Poirier. We haven't seen him for some time now. Could come in highly motivated. He has looked very good in what I've seen, some of the footage of him. But you know, you don't really see interviews. You don't see him talking, you know, and that could be good, not the distraction of the media. But I just think that Moicano, man, he's just taking it all in right now, and just the way he talks about himself and showing the motivation that he has. He's like, I don't have much time left. You know, I got to go in there and get the job done and get the finish. I think he's motivated not only by his family, by his his pursuit of excellence, but also himself in this opportunity. And I think he can get the job done. I see tremendous value in him at this main event slot. He could submit Benoit Saint-Denis. Remember how many times Dustin Poirier was getting that guillotine choke but couldn't lock it up? Man, I like Renato Moicano, man. I think he could find a submission. He got Jalen Turner out of there. Jalen Turner letting off the gas after hurting him, but that shows how resilient he is. You know, if Benoit Saint-Denis can throw a flurry out of him and then get gassed, and then here comes Money Moicano storming. So I just think that Moicano does have the ability to stand up with him, and he has that X factor of the submission jiu-jitsu, which is almost second to none in the division. So give me Money Moicano making us money. I got the 3 Brazilians in the main card, and I got those favorites in the prelims. I think after you say your play, I'll have to build a little parlay for us.
Yeah, maybe we could do a lock and a dog after that as well. But Joe, I'm going to take BSD here in this home fight. I just think he's the better fighter, you know, regardless of where this fight goes. It did seem his cardio fell off in his last fight. I think that was due to the staph infection, but Money Moicano is no slouch, no doubt. He does get dropped sometimes, though. His chin can be left up there. He has that nice comeback win, like you mentioned, over Jalen Turner. I just don't see that happening against BSD. I think BSD, after coming off this loss, is extremely focused. He's prepared coming into this fight. I think in this fight, I think like the game script or the fight script for him, I think he's going to want to move forward, apply the pressure all night. And as long as he doesn't gas out, I just don't see where Money Moicano beats him. I think he gets a big win in front of his home crowd. So he is a big favorite right now at minus 275. I see the best odds. So maybe want to put him in a parlay. But Joe, like you said, he is a favorite for a reason.
Yeah, bro.
But you know, we had some team rides here, and we were kind of aligned in most of these besides the main event, which bodes well.
I like
for
that.
Me.
It made the best fan win.
Well for me because I haven't been doing well these past few weeks. But been carrying the team. Real quick, before we get into our lock dog, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
We're in Paris. I think you illustrated it beautifully because I do think this is one of the best crowds in the world wherever they go. Biggest French, I guess maybe prospect or French fighter in general. I'll give you mine first, and it has to be Cedric Doumbé. I mean, he's Connor-esque. He's out here. The PSG crowd is there. Messi. I know he's not French, but all these soccer stars, he fills out arenas. And I think what PFL is doing, they're building him exactly like a French star, putting on all these big cards, and he sells it out no matter who he's fighting. People come to go see Cedric Doumbé, and he already has, I think, 400, 500 more thousand followers than a Cyril Gane. Like Cyril Gane's like that old school where, you know, those old school UFC guys, if you want someone to respect, oh, look at Cyril Gane. He's business, you know, shake your hand like a good scholar. But Cedric Doumbé kind of resonates with that younger crowd, in my opinion. So I don't know. I think it's Cedric Doumbé. But I will say second, and I don't even think it's Cyril Gane or BSD. Wild card, I think it's going to be Nasruddin Imavov. I think he could fight for the belt, and I like him.
Yeah, Imavov's there. I think this new guy, Umar Sy, we could see a lot from him. I'm looking at all the guys current. There's a lot of historic French fighters, you know, just come to think of it. Hey, I got take it outside the UFC, the Lazy King. You remember seeing him? You know, he's got only one loss in his career. You know, Cyril Gane. I don't know if you could see he's a prospect anymore. Manifiero's not really you know what I mean?
No, but there are killers, yes.
Good fighters, man. I got someone for you. Since you went Cedric Doumbé outside the UFC, I got one for you. Saladin Parnasse, KSW double champ. He was going for the triple champ status. Remember when he fought Adrian Bartnasinski? Yep. And he came up short, but he went to decision with that dude who was 3 times his size. I think Saladin Parnasse, with his resume, only losing twice in his career, he's got a fight coming up with Wilson Vieira. I like that guy a lot. I like Cedric Doumbé a lot. You know, France has a lot of athletes coming up, and some that are currently here and some in the past. So, yeah, don't ever doubt the country of France.
Is he bigger than Cedric Doumbé, though? That's
I
my
think
question.
Smaller. Like, think about it. If he went to middleweight, maybe they're the same size.
No. I'm talking like box office.
Cedric Doumbé's bigger. I would
Than
think
than everyone, right?
because I just think like
Why
maybe-
is he so big?
I don't know. Maybe he was just known from the kickboxing. Maybe kickboxing's bigger. Like you said, Cyril Gane haven't as many Muay Thai and kickboxing fights as he had. Maybe it's bigger than it is over here in the States. That's why I see a lot of European fighters, like, a lot of guys going to kickboxing that are just nasty. Think of all the Dutch kickboxers that are messy. Europe's probably big on kickboxing more, and so seeing Cedric Doumbé come up through that as opposed to Saladin Parnasse solely coming through MMA. Maybe that's why you see the stardom go more for Doumbé. But don't doubt Parnasse in terms of his ability. I think that dude's probably one of the most talented fighters on the planet.
I love it. Yeah, a little outside the box. But, I wanted to say that and ask you your opinion just because, we're going into a great hub in France.
Absolutely.
And we got, like you said, we got killers, like not even in the UFC doing amazing things. So yeah, we mentioned just two guys, not even in the UFC, that are superstars already. So wanted to get that. Let's go to our lock and dog.
Hey, I got the two parlays built.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you got?
The prelim parlay of those four favorites I had, odds came out to plus 155. That was Ayin Perez, Taylor Lapilus, Ludovic Klein, and Umar Sy. So plus 155 for those four together. And then a 3-leg parlay of the Brazilians in the main card, 2 dogs in it. So it's not like you need to make a parlay out of this, but I did just for shits and gigs. The plus 500 from Miranda, the plus 240 from Money Moicano, and the minus 275 from Joanderson Brito brings you at plus 2,682. So massive odds on that. Taking the 2 dogs in a parlay will get you paid out. So hopefully one of those hit.
I love it. Let's fucking go. Good luck to there. Lock, what are you locking up? Favorite play this weekend? Could be a prop, could be a round, side. What do you got?
Favorite, man, I do like some fights here. I think I'm taking a risk with a lot of like newer people coming in, but something's telling me that this guy is amazing. I think he's super talented. I don't think Umar Sy is going to lose. I think he's a lock to win.
Yeah, that was like, besides Nasruddin Imavov, he's up there as well. He could be fighting up there as well for a belt one day. For my lock, I'm going to go to that back to the co-main event, over 2.5 rounds. I think both guys are extremely durable. Imavov, and I know I said it could go to the floor, but I think Allen is going to want to try to stand and bang and maybe prove a point that he could strike with Imavov. I don't know if that's the best recipe, but I think both guys are very durable on the floor and on the feet. So I think it goes bell to bell. Over 2.5 rounds is my lock. And I'll start the dog segment. I'm going to go Joanderson Brito inside the distance at plus 115. I mean, like I said, I just don't understand this matchup. How does Brito get William Gomes after beating Jack Shore? It didn't make sense to me. He finishes all of his wins, so
did the UFC a favor, I think, going over to Paris to fight.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so maybe just gave him a win. So I think he finished it. He makes it 6 in a row. So inside the distance for Brito at plus 115 is my dog.
Now, and for my dogs, do I have to give you what I'm most confident in, or the most value, like the highest odds?
No, your favorite dog could be plus 115, could be 600, whatever you got.
It's the Money Moicano and Gabe Miranda are not my favorite dogs, even though I do like them. I got to go all the way back down, all the way to the bottom. I got to go to Nora Corniole. I think I like her value there as the dogs. You know how closely contested the women's fights are. So not only am I liking the value at plus 185, I am more confident in those than the other dogs. So we can get it on the board early for you. And I like this spot.
I love it. Good luck, Joe. It's going to be great.
Yes,
first lock and dog segment, and it's in Paris, France. I mean, what could go wrong, kid? Anything else before we get up? We got some news I want to talk about real quick, but anything over the weekend?
Really, like I said, we're going to have 40 screens up watching all the...
Yeah. Let's do some news. UFC, obviously, we heard the news, unfortunately, about Aljo having to get out of UFC 307 next week. Moslar Ivalov wanted to stay on. Apparently they couldn't find him, so
they're rescheduling.
They rescheduled, and he's back in Russia already, so he will not stay on the card. But We got a new signing, RDR, Renner de
Ritter.
Ritter, 17-2. He signed with the UFC.
He was
He's
a double champ.
double champ, heavyweight and light heavyweight champion. I think that's a huge addition to this roster. And they said, you know what? Come on the biggest card of the year, UFC Vegas 100, November 9th at the Apex against GM3.
He's got to pass the GM3 test.
Off the rip, I love it. I mean, you get a stud in RM or GM3, so I like it, and it's a good test right in a stepping stool.
I'll be real with you. I don't like the matchup for him. I think the
Exactly.
UFC did not do him any favors fighting Gerald Meerschaert in his first fight, because Gerald Meerschaert is a vet. He seems to stand in the fire and take whatever you throw at him, and he won't mind throwing hands because he is so good grappling, and that's what RDR's bread and butter is the grappling. He was a jiu-jitsu champ. That's what got him to getting the lightweight champ, and then a light heavyweight champ, and then the heavyweight champ was both by submission. So we saw how he, didn't look good against a bigger guy, Anatoly Malakin there. So it seems that size maybe, his little hiccup or just something that he doesn't do well with. But I don't know if he'll be any bigger GM3, but just the fact that he's very intelligent, has been there, done that, and he can match him with the grappling. It's not a good first fight for RDR, but if he can pass that test, the GM3 test, then he'll be getting even tougher fights.
I mean, and they put him on the biggest card of the year. I mean, it's insane.
Nothing's going to come close to UFC Vegas 100. I mean,
nothing like
UFC
at
300
all. Who? Exactly. So, yeah, I love that there. Oh, we got a main event for UFC China. We got Piotr Jan taking on Davison Figueiredo, November 23rd, 5-round main event, bantamweight. Yeah, Macau. Yeah, China.
So, I like it. Oh man, yeah. I'm so excited, man.
And we also got
a title eliminator.
Yeah, 100%. It has to be a title eliminator. Peter Yan coming back from over a year break off that injury. Davison Figueiredo riding high on a 3-fight win streak in the new division, in the bantamweight division. And we also got Tabitha Ritchie taking on Yao Shannan, another maybe title eliminator there as well.
2 title eliminators. I'm sure Tabitha Ritchie is going to be gunning for her, but Yao Shannan is going to have a point and going to want to prove a lot to her fans having her back there. So I think those are 2 amazing fights that we got for UFC China.
And also in the featured bout, I think, Dana White, he helped us out and he put the golden boy, Carlos Ulberg, on.
That's a great fight.
On the morning, so all of our women don't get to see him. But Carlos Ulberg is going to be taking on Volkan Ozdemir. I mean, that is a barn burner.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, someone's going out. I don't think that this is going to go the distance. There's no way. Volkan Ozdemir has nicknamed No Time for a reason. And, man, Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg, like, he's not only a killer, but he's a lady killer, too.
100%. By the way, we got 2 fights for UFC Tampa, December 14th.
Is there Tampa? Sorry.
Yeah, too soon. No, there might not be a Tallahassee, but there might be a Tampa.
Hey, honestly, I've been seeing it. How resilient our Floridians are, though. Like, I saw a guy on a raft in his living room just chilling. So shout out Florida.
Used to it.
I hope the best for all you guys. I just, little levity to the situation. We get through tough times with some humor.
100%. Yeah, Davey Grant. He's taking on Ramon Tavares, UFC Tampa, and we got Manel Cap taking on Bruno Silva. 2 good fights, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough fight for Manel Cap. I don't know a lot of people know about Bruno Silva, but he's a dog in there. And Davey Grant's going to definitely bring the most out of who's he fighting again? Young guy.
Tavares.
Yeah, Ramon Tavares. Yeah, that's a big test for, I think, both Bruno Silva and Ramon Tavares more so than the other, but it's a proving point for Davey Grant being as a savvy vet as he is. And Manel Cap, as we all expected to be already in the title picture, losing to Makayev, and now where he's at, got a lot of question marks about the guy.
100%. I was just going to say, this is a step down, whether you want to admit it or not, from Manel Cap.
Yeah.
A lot of people had high expectations for him. And then UFC 310, December 7th, last card of the year. We got 3 fights. Chase Hooper, Clay Guida. We got Michael Chiesa and Max Payne Griffin. And then Cyril Gane and Alexander Volkov got rescheduled for UFC 310. Apparently, Volkov had a knee injury.
Oh, damn. Those first 2 are like a throwback. It's like 2010 all over again for some reason.
I love it. Those are interesting fights, though, especially Michael Chiesa coming off a big win against Max Griffin. Chase Hooper signs a 4-fight new contract. And then he gets the savvy vet who Clay Guida just doesn't stop fighting. This guy's
I'm glad they're keeping the Gane and Volkov together because I want to see that. It's yet again another proving point for these
title eliminator.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's all the news I had. Risen Monday morning, not over the weekend. Monday morning. What do you got?
Yeah, if you're up all late after football on Sunday, you can get to tune into Risen 48. And there are 2 titles on the line this weekend. So Risen Fighting Federation Lightweight Championships in the main event. And in the co-main event, you have the vacant Bantamweight Championship. So Naoki Inoue is plus 130. He's taking on So Cool Chimp at minus 175. He's so cool, but I got to fade him and take Inoue here at plus 130. I like the dog. He's a great fighter. I like the Japanese dude, though. Cole has a little more experience. I just like Naoki Inoue in this spot, man. I think he can get the job done. And not only am I taking this dog, I am taking the dog in the main event. And Roberto de Souza, as good of a jiu-jitsu player as he is, you know how biased I am towards my grapplers. Minus 250, I did not like. I like the killer mentality of Killer Luis Gustavo at plus 175. So I'm taking him in the main event at plus 175 and Inoue as a dog in the co-main event at plus 130. Let's keep going because I went 1-1 for this past week. I haven't updated you guys. We were going 6 weeks in a row. We hit 6 in a row, but we dropped the ball on Sunday. I missed the Brave CF 87 pick. That did not hit. Ulu defended his title. But Axel Sola, he knocked out his opponent yesterday for Aries. And so we went 1-1 and we hit. And we're back. We're 1 week hit right now. So if I get these 2, we'll be 2 weeks in a row and we'll be flowing.
You weren't down for long, kid, just like the Floridians. Never down long.
Right.
Real quick, before we let you go, 2 real quick. Alicia Baumgartner, she wins this weekend, right? By knockout, by decision. What do we got?
Michaela Meyer by decision. Alicia Baumgartner by knockout.
I love it. Georgia, Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Who you got?
I go dogs. I think I like what Caitlin DeBoer is doing for Roll Tide, but I think Georgia this early in the season may have their number, but they very well may play in the playoff, and then
we'll see.
Who knows who my pick may be?
I love it, and I agree. Go dogs. Good luck. God bless. And we'll see you on Monday.